I was going to ask about Jason and Jalen to this point. Now, you when you got to Boston, they were arriving. Jalen got there the same year you got there. Jason the year after. Uh, their maturity at such a young age is rare. I mean, obviously they're incredible talents, but was that something that you were surprised by when you met them? Both when you started playing with them, but even when you just met them just as dudes.
Yeah, I was very surprised when Jalen came in. Just hearing him talk, just seeing kind of his vision, what he was about. It's something that really surprised me. I'm like, man, this guy is 19, 20 years old, and he's already seeing things so clearly, and he knows what he wants. He knows what he's trying to accomplish. Obviously, he needs to figure it out on the court, but just as a person, just very put together. And Jason was the same way. Jason came in and it's kind of like an old soul, like he just from summer league. Like as soon as I saw him playing in summer league, how poised he was right away. I was like, man, this guy is different. And it was one of those things that I was just very impressed with him, with his demeanor, how he kept his cool, and how he went about the season. He might have not felt that way, but that's the way that he came off as.
It's a great point, Tommy, because I've always been both those guys. I've always been struck by their maturity, their confidence, their poise, all that stuff. Jason, in particular, I was really impressed with when we had him on the show last year. And since the All-Star break, he's had some rough shooting games. He's had some rough shooting stretches, and he's had some really enlightening quotes about just the ups and downs of the season. When you see him sort of going through a rough stretch, does his demeanor change at all? Does his approach change at all?
Man, it's impressive because he he's like we've talked about, he's mature beyond his years, but his demeanor does not change. He stays the same way. He's putting in the work every day like he needs to. He's taking care of his body. He's doing everything he has to do to prepare, and he's as consistent as they come. And to me, that's impressive because earlier in my career when I was younger, you go through a stretch and you get to feeling down on yourself, and maybe you don't want to do everything you've been doing leading up to, and you're trying to figure things out. And he's not like that. He stays locked in. He wants to play every game if he possibly can, and he's all about just continuing to work. He's working, he's trying to figure things out, and he's figuring it out on the fly. So it's pretty impressive to see how he handles himself.
You mentioned versatile defenders. We talked about that. Marcus is one of them. You guys have a bunch of them. Your 3-point attempt rate this year makes and attempts second in the league to Golden State for pretty much the whole season. Not without some ups and downs this year, especially lately, but this year's team, the best version of that, when you guys are at your best, what does that look like? What does that feel like?
It feels like offensively, we're playing fast. We're playing fast. We're getting up and down the floor. The ball, and you hear this term all the time, the ball's not sticking. The ball is moving, and we're just moving. As soon as it touches somebody, you're either shooting it or they're creating an action. But we're just playing fast, getting out in transition, moving. That pace, when we're playing like that, it just changes everything. And then defensively, really locking down individually, and that's one of our strengths, that our guys are able to guard a lot one-on-one. And when we're able to do that, but the biggest one is offensively. When we're flying around and when we're playing with pace, it's I feel like that's when we're at our best.
We hope you had fun with us today. We hope you laughed. We hope you had fun with us today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button.